Often fears are an illusion, and the negative consequences that you do have from the fears, trying to predict the future and envisioning or expecting a negative outcome. It's never as bad as you think it is. This fear that I had was so unjustified. All of our fears will disappear if we will call them by its name. Hello and welcome to this video. This is the topic of today's video. Way too often we are controlled by our fear and we want to do stuff, we want to work on ourselves, maybe do a video, maybe speak in front of the class or whatever we want to do, speak to a girl, but we don't do it because our fear is holding us back. And the first thing that I want you to realize is that fears have the most power when we don't really know, okay, what is it exactly that is scaring us, that is fearful? Like if we can't grab it, if we can't really define what we are afraid of. For example, I remember, because back in the days in 2019, I was into police training. I was about to become a police officer in Germany because my father wanted me to do a safe job. Really, I felt so alone there and I realized everybody in the classroom hated me and I was at some point too late. Often I was too late to class and I was super afraid to just knock on the door and enter that door, but I didn't really know, okay, what was I really afraid of? Because walking through the door, okay, doing the steps, okay, this is not that difficult, this is not that fearful, but for some reason I was super afraid. Back in school, I remember I had always like, can you call it ambition? At least I wanted like good grades. This was my, maybe you can call it standard. And so I was super afraid of writing bad grades. I was nervous in front of exams because like, okay, I need to write a good grade in this. This was, by the way, probably one reason why the grade wasn't as good as I could be. The third example where I was super nervous, super afraid when I asked my first crush in school, told her that I like her. That was also when I was super afraid. First thing that we have to do is get clear or define for yourself, okay, what is actually the real reason or the real thing that you are afraid of. Example, when I was asking out my crush, was it really the word no that I was afraid of? Is the word no really that scary? Or is it maybe something else that I was afraid of? Maybe it was like I was thinking about her for, I remember, a month, I think. Never talking to her, of course, super lame, but this is what I did. Maybe it was not the word no, but it was the attachment that I built up to her. And attachments always lead us to like a fear of loss, like fearing losing something, even though of course I never had her and you never can have or own a human being, of course not. Yeah, but this was literally, when I would define it, the thing I was really afraid of. Fear of losing the attachment that I had towards her, like the imaginary dream that this could be something at some point, maybe. By the way, fear of losing is always towards the future. This is like, by the way, a good definition, maybe I should add it in this video. Fear is trying to predict the future and envisioning or expecting a negative outcome. Literally, that is what it is. We have no idea. When I was asking out my crush, I had no idea if she would have said yes or no, but I was super nervous that she could say no because I was expecting the no. I was expecting, okay, there could be something wrong. So this is the first thing, okay, define, okay, what am I actually afraid of? Another example, when I was about to write an exam, was I really afraid of that I get a bad grade? Or was I maybe afraid of, okay, maybe I get like punished by my parents? Not the case in my situation. Maybe, for example, was I afraid of not being like the smart kid anymore? Because I was defining myself a lot about my good grades. Maybe I also was afraid of not being able to study, or maybe I would fail school. Those were the real fears, and as soon we have identified those real fears, the real thing that we are afraid of, it's not something like magic that you can't really grab anymore. It's something specific, and now we can work on that. Step number 2 is really think about the worst possible scenario. Just ask yourself, hey, okay, so what was the worst case scenario if I would write one bad grade in this exam? The average of my grades would be lower. Okay, and so what? So if the average of my grades would be lower, okay, I can't study anymore. I might fail school, and so what? If I might fail school, okay, then I can't find a good job and I have to work a shitty job or whatever. If we really think it through until the worst negative scenario, we realize basically most of our fears that we have, if we clearly define it and then think through the worst case, are unjustified. And not only unjustified, often fears are an illusion. It is super unrealistic that because of one bad grade, because of one exam where I lose some points, I would never be able to find a good job. There's so many other more important things, how you present yourself while you are in the conversation with somebody that you want to work for, or maybe you never want to work for somebody else. This was, for example, the conclusion that I had when I was planning the video. This fear that I had was so unjustified. Hey, if I have bad grades, okay, I have a bad average and I can't study maybe, or I can't find a good job. The last thing I wanted, even back then, it was a job. I never wanted a job. So it was super unjustified, but I still had that fear because I never defined it and I was super afraid during the exam. Con gusto. She thought I don't speak Spanish. I don't. Okay, and quickly before they kick us out of here, the last point is the third step. Ask ourselves, hey, if this worst case really would happen, do I really couldn't live with that? Or could I live with that? And the key essence that I want to give here is like basically living in detachment, living in acceptance. Hey, if this worst thing happened, okay, maybe this is how it should be, or the universe, or whatever you believe in, and probably, if you really think about it, it's not that bad as it sounds at first. Okay, the crush, she didn't like me. For me, of course, first, okay, the world is over. But I still survived, and I'm still here, and I'm still, yes, I would say I'm happy. Right now I'm pretty happy. Still working, of course, on my happiness. There was lots of times where I wasn't happy, but not because of her, because she said no. My life continued. So basically, yes, it's never as bad as you think it is, and the negative consequences that you do have from the fears, you can live with that. So the basic lessons that we have here, I think, is also from Buddhism: detachment. Detachment from the result, and all fear will disappear. Alright, this was my input that I wanted to give on fear, how we can make fear a bit easier, how we can handle fear, and that fear disappears when we call it by its name. And I want to end this with a little, maybe a little story, or maybe like a little story for children in Germany. It's called Rumpelstilzchen. I'm not sure if you guys know it in America or wherever you are in the world. You can tell me if you know this novel, I think it's for children, where the little leprechaun wanted to steal the first child of the queen, and it can only be defeated, so to say, if you call it by its name. So this is the story. Check it out if you want. And I think it's pretty much like a well-fitting example here, because our fear, again, as we said, the fear of this ball that is about to hit me in my face, disappears if I just realize, hey, that's a fucking soft ball, can't really hurt me, can't kill me. Yeah, and this is the message for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you will face your fears, call it out by its name, a little bit more fearless. Thanks for watching.